Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Dane, can you hear me?
No, I can't hear you because I'm in outer space.
Why are you talking like you do?
Because I spray him in the face with my mace.
This makes no sense. But you know what makes a lot of sense and a lot of dollars?
Buying an Eras tour ticket.
Wow. You are on it today. Yes, Taylor Swift. We're just going to talk about her a lot because why not?
I have many notes.
This is the only thing that we are experts on, and I'm sure you all agree.
Yeah, so Swiftie Colt, please don't come for us.
Yeah, don't come for us. We'll come for you. And this is the Until Next Week podcast.
Ya boy.
What's up, Dane?
You know what grinds my gears?
What grinds your gears, Dane? What grinds your... I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of things that truly do grind your gears, but what grinds your gears on this episode of the Until Next Week podcast?
Something that grinds my gears worse than my joints is the boldness of small children.
Oh, you don't say. Do you have anything to say about, like, why?
I have a plethora of examples.
Tell me. Tell me right now.
First one being... whenever I shaved my beard this past spring and I went to Super K with K-Life, one of the small children...
Did you get mistaken for one of their close friends?
No, I didn't. I should have been, though. But I had a mustache.
Oh, mustache.
And, dang it. One that comes up to me and said, "Why do you look so funny?" And I'm like, "Please go on. Whatever do you mean?" And they said, "Well, you don't have a beard anymore." I said, "I know. I wanted to change it up a little bit." And they were like... "Well, you look weird, and you should go back to that." And then their little friends run up, and they go, "Yeah, I don't like you without a beard." And I'm like, "Well,
like, stranger danger. Yeah. We don't know this man."
I was like, "You guys got to deal with it for a little bit."
That is a great. I like the honesty of kids, though. I mean, they tell it how it is. Like, if you're not feeling good one day, or you're looking a little rough in the hips, they'll tell you.
Well, another time I was teaching kids at church, and I was wearing a bright blue. Bright
Words
blue,
are hard.
They are hard.
Yes.
A bright blue shirt and khakis and then white shoes. And one of the other people there, like teachers, was like, "Oh, you look like a golfer today." And I asked the first kid that came into the class, it's like, "Hey, do you think I look like a golfer?" And they looked me up and down and go, "No, you look like a smoker." I said, "How do you know what a smoker looks like?"
My household is not in a good spot right now.
I also don't look like a smoker.
Kids these days.
I know.
I don't get the deal with them.
I've been teaching kids for like better part of 5 years now.
Do you think you're the issue here?
No, not
because
at
you're
all.
the one who's teaching them, and then they're also the ones giving you the insults.
I taught them later on in that semester how to not get scammed.
Okay. Are they all scamming other people now? Because now they know how not to get scammed. Exactly. So therefore, they know how to scam people better.
Yeah, I stole all of their shoes from them.
Oh, no.
Because...
That's weird. Please tell me you gave them back.
I mean, yeah.
Okay.
So it was this game that the teacher came up with where the kids could come and pay fake money for toys that me and the other teachers were like kind of pretend selling.
Okay.
And so the first kid comes up to me and goes, "Hi, I would like to buy some toys." And I said, "I'm sure you do. Now, you can give me all your money for this toy, or just trade me your shoes." Straight up. And then they did, and then they would go get more money, and then they'd come back and be like, "I want to buy this toy now." And I was like, "Sure, for all of your money." And then they give me all of it, absolutely all of it.
So you have all their money and their shoes.
Yeah, I did it to every kid.
And then the parents complain, like, What are you doing?
No, they didn't know about it.
Okay, that's good. Please tell me you gave them their shoes, you said?
I gave them their shoes back because at the end, the lead teacher was like, "Mr. Dane, are you taking the kids' shoes?" And I said, "No, I'm not taking them. They're willingly trading them to me."
And I have them listed on Facebook Marketplace. I got a lot of money getting made here, you know?
Yeah. Okay. And so I had all the shoes and all the money, and somehow I'm the bad guy.
Did you also get the teacher to trade her shoes to you?
No. She was a little wiser, if you will.
Okay. But she gave you all her money.
She almost did, but did not.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I was giving magnetiles to kids. So
I'm glad that you're teaching them well.
They didn't know how to negotiate whatsoever.
One of these days, like, they're going to be on like the Forbes 500. Each one is going to be on the Forbes list and be like, "How did you get to where you are today?" Well, in Sunday school, our teacher, Dane, he scammed us out of everything we had. So we took those same skills to scam our workers and our customers, and that's how we are as good as we are today.
That's how you become more American right there, man.
Yep. That's the gospel.
What grind? No, it's not.
Just kidding.
What? Why do you hate small children as well?
No. We're talking about grinding my gears, and I'm not hating on small kids, but small cousins do grind my gears at times.
They are annoying.
And I think this is more so. I might be. I don't know how I want to put this. I have a lot of small cousins in Wisconsin. And a lot of them, or some of them I have not met, but I was in Wisconsin this past week, and I got to meet some of them. Unfortunately, my first interaction with at least one of them was not very pleasant because I mentioned they are small, and I cannot see small kids very well. So I was walking out of the house and opening a door, which has it like block the view like
Did you murder
4
a child?
feet downwards. So I opened the door and this
Boom!
Smacked one of my small cousins right in the face.
Sounds like he had it coming.
Nice to meet you. I'm Samuel.
Sounds like he had it coming.
Yeah, she was. There's no way I could have seen her. I just opened the door.
It was
though.
a girl?
Yeah, it was. I had not met her, I don't think, up until this point, and I smacked her in the head. It was an accident. She started crying, but her dad was like, "Oh, it's okay." And I'm like, "Sorry, this is not good."
So you hate small children and women?
Oh gosh, no. I can't see them.
Oh.
I can't see small children or women.
You refuse to see them as a person.
I don't see them at all. I just look straight past.
Also, side note, if you're listening in Wisconsin right now, bonjour.
Yes, bonjour. I don't know if any of you guys do listen to this, but if you do,
It could.
hey, I miss you guys. You're all awesome.
We don't know if it's your family. Maybe Brett Favre's listening to us.
Oh, that'd be great.
I'm
Do you
pretty
think
sure
you
he's
could
in
get Wrangler
Georgia.
to sponsor us.
Ooh, I would love a pair of jeans.
Yeah, pair of jeans. That would be good. That'd be good. But yes, I need to work on my looking skills.
Why is it a
especially
pair
looking
of
down.
jeans? Why is it a pair of jeans?
You only buy 2 at once.
Well, I don't buy 2 at once. I buy 1 at once.
Okay, then you just have jeans.
I know, but why is it called a pair of jeans?
I don't know.
I understand there's 2 legs, but
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
one set of jeans.
That is very true.
So
if you know,
yeah.
please let us know in the comments section of wherever you want to leave comments, whether that's on Instagram or giving us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, or you also can go to our new Threads account, which I'll talk about later.
Ooh.
I know. It's so crazy. So crazy.
Now on to our 60-second sports segment.
It's really quick because we talk about too much sports talk. I was called Randy Johnson this week.
No, you weren't.
Yeah, I was. You
You're
know
not
why
even
that was?
You're not even left-handed.
No, I'm not, which what kind of threw me off. But again, we had wiffle ball this week. I take it too seriously, and I felt good. And you know how I felt good? Because I was on PTO this week. I got a lift in the afternoon, and then I went to wiffle ball. I struck out 12 of the 15 batters I faced, and it was the best team out there. I was throwing straight gas, and I felt good. It was nice.
There's nothing better than not working.
It was amazing. I loved it so much. It was.
Oh, man.
If I could just not work and still have money,
Yeah.
that would be awesome.
I don't remember if I've told you this before,
Mm-hmm.
but the happiest I've ever been is when I was unemployed.
I
stand by that.
I can understand that.
Yeah.
It's a nice time.
I wake up, go on the porch. I'm just going to call somebody today.
Yeah, and they're like, "Hey,
yeah.
Dane, I'm at work. What are you doing?" It's like, "I'm not at work. I just want to talk to
It's
you."
like, what a loser.
Oh!
You have a job? Way
Yeah.
to conform. Sheep?
Yeah.
But yeah.
You are really selling the idea of being unemployed to our listeners.
Do it, guys. It was really fun
Yeah.
until you run out of money. And then you're like, well, I guess I'll go put on this corporate neck noose and head into the office.
Nice. Well, I think that was more than 60 seconds. But Dane, do you want to tell us anything that's happening in your sports life?
The Cardinals are a Greek tragedy that continued to disappoint me over and over again, and I've officially given up on them. The end.
I hurt in a lot of ways, and this is just one of them. And you
Yeah.
know what makes this all the more worse? I'm not sorry. You're
What?
about to say something.
I was
feel
going to say we had it in the bag.
yeah, we did, and I thought we had it in the bag, so that's why I decided to make a bet with a coworker.
Oh, no.
Which I never do. And it was like 4 games into the season or 5 games. They were like 2-3 or 2-4. And he was like, "I bet you $50 they'll finish under 500." And I immediately shook his hand and I'm like, "Deal." And he regretted it very quickly. I did not. And then weeks after weeks passed and I started regretting my decision. And I hope he has grace on me, but I don't think that's going to be the case.
Oh, no. Samuel's an avid gambler.
Yeah, I think the only times I've ever really like quote unquote gambled money was
Yeah.
right there because I thought, oh, there's no way I'm going to lose this. And even if I was starting to feel bad for him, so I was thinking of a way. So like, hey, we can just call it off whenever when like they were up over 500.
Right.
But now that's not looking to be the case.
It's not gambling if you're good at it.
Yeah, exactly. So I regret that decision.
I gamble a lot.
Don't do it. Don't go down that
When
route.
sports gambling is legalized in Missouri, I need you to check on me often.
I will make sure to check on you daily because that could be a dangerous route to go down.
Yeah, I need you to put air tags in my pockets in case I get, kidnapped.
Okay. It's noted. So whenever that bill potentially passes, I will make sure that you are air tagged at all times.
Yeah. Speaking of passing things, we're going to pass to the next segment.
Oh, is this really a segment? It kind of is.
It's not a segment, it's a lifestyle.
It really is. And you know what that lifestyle is?
What?
Taylor Swift.
Who's that?
I don't know. I think we've talked about her sometimes on the podcast, and usually when we talk about her, people listen.
My coworker has told me that she's a clone.
A clone?
Yeah. Apparently.
What?
Well, apparently he's a huge conspiracy theorist.
Oh, okay.
Like,
Okay.
And I think it's funny because I'll just kind of egg him on with it.
Mm-hmm.
But he's like, Taylor Swift's a clone, right? And I was like, well, of course she is.
Wait, so he's a clone and she's a clone?
No. He says, that Taylor Swift is a clone, right?
Oh, I thought you were like, I'm a clone. And then it's like, how are you going to make this get to Taylor Swift? And I was like, this is confusing. Okay. So she's a clone.
Yeah. He's like, she's a clone, right?
Who's he a clone of?
I don't know, some other girl.
Okay.
He sent me a video on it.
Okay.
I'm not watching it, if I'm being honest. But he's like, yeah, and it's all connected because that's why she named her album 1989. It's because that's when the original clone died and she was made.
I mean, she was technically made in 1989.
Exactly.
That is true. Well, I didn't expect to talk about her being a clone, but do you know what I did expect to talk about?
What?
Do you want me to speak now about it?
I want you to shut your mouth about it. You and my coworkers make puns every day to me.
It's so bad, but so good. Yes, Speak Now has dropped again.
Yes,
because
this was a solid album.
She dropped the album like 13 years ago, and then had all the drama where it's like, hey, I don't own my music because you stole it. So that was annoying. But then she released a new version, and then she's like, hey, this is Taylor's version.
Yeah.
You know what?
Tay-Tay.
You know what?
What?
Yeah, I kind of feel like her dropping these albums and putting Taylor's version like in parentheses after each song is kind of like in a group project. I feel like I would do the same thing. It's like, yep, this is my work. So this is Samuel's version of this slide and this slide and this slide. And that's her with every single song and her album.
I did this. The group teammates over here did not do any of this.
That could be their version. No. This is Samuel's version over here. And that's how she does her albums, which is pretty great.
You do your whole group project and then you're like, everybody's ready to sit down. They're like, oh, thank you. They're like, oh, wait. That was them. You want to see my version of this? Because it's way better.
Yeah. And so Speak Now has dropped. And I think I really also just regret not going to her concert.
I mean, it just depends.
It depends.
Do you want to spend $1 gazillion?
And not now with how much money it was, but I think I should have tried to get the tickets when they were only like, let's say a few $100s compared to like a couple thousand for seats where you can't even like see her.
Yeah.
It's kind of nuts.
Or I saw a different TikTok that said the average Swiftie experience is like $1,200.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my goodness. Like you're spending $1,200 on this?
Well, yeah, because I mean, for a lot of people, they're spending, give or take, let's say they got the tickets at the original price, which I think was an average of like $300+,
right.
And then most people are probably traveling, and then a lot of people are staying maybe in a hotel,
right.
And a lot of people are probably buying merch and then food inside and outfits and everything else, and then it gets expensive quick.
Well, speaking of that,
yeah,
I did my research.
Oh, you did research?
I did research because I am a detective, and so Taylor, we just hit how she's not.
We are Taylor Swift, right?
To swizzle, if you will.
To swizzle.
To swizzle.
Okay.
We just hit on how she came out with these Taylor's versions because she was not being properly compensated, correct?
Yes.
For her contribution. So I did my own little research.
Okay.
And we'll see if I will be properly compensated for this.
Yes.
So Taylor is set to make more money this year than the Yankees and Lakers combined.
I mean, okay. How?
The
Why?
Eras Tour is being considered the most successful tour of all time
I agree.
because ticket sales are averaging about 10 million per show.
That's a lot.
Times 106 shows.
Yeah.
That's
Is 106 shows also including all the shows she added overseas?
probably.
Okay, it probably is.
So that comes out to $1,060,000,000. And after expenses that she pays for every show, that's still $3 million per show. Times 106 is $318 million for all of her shows.
And that probably also isn't including how many more times like her songs are streamed during the time of her tours, which is probably drastically higher because people are like, we got to learn all the lyrics again.
Right.
And then I'm sure, that would be including like merch and everything else.
Oh,
that's
you
nuts.
say merch? Well, the average. I was so hoping you would say merch.
Yeah, merch.
Because that's the next point here. So merch, an average Swiftie spends $50 on merch.
That's literally one T-shirt.
I know.
That's not that's. Yeah.
Which is the equivalent of $2.5 million per show after paying the cost to make it and production and stuff like that. She's making a 70% profit.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's more.
Right. It
Because
could be more.
The merch is cheap. It's
is.
made so cheap.
Well, yeah. Well, let's say it's 70%. That's $1.75 million per show. All shows total, that's another $185 million.
That so crazy.
And then,
she literally does anything she touches turns to gold.
Speaking of turning to gold,
Speak now about it. Speak now. Come on.
The economic impact of these cities that she's going and doing this to. Speaking of which, Kansas City was last night and tonight.
I know, and that's why I'm sad I'm not there.
I'm not sad. Anyways, I'll listen to her album myself.
Yeah.
And with a cold Mountain Dew in my hand.
Why are you playing Call of Duty?
Well, okay. Don't tell the fans how I listen to it. But the economic impact that she is bringing to these cities altogether is generating $4.6 billion in consumer spending, which is like hotels, bars, restaurants.
But are you counting in all the rioting the Swifties do when they're spray painting the downtowns, trash, and setting fires? Because I think that's what they. That's not.
That's the
not
future.
Them?
That's the future.
Oh, that's okay. I got it mixed up. Sorry.
Our time gate is over here, and we're over here right now.
Okay. Yeah, she has not became Lord Supreme
Not
of
yet.
the world.
Not
Okay.
yet.
Okay. We're good. We're good. We're good, guys.
So the gross revenue is $1.3 billion, and Forbes estimates, she's generating $1.3 billion, and Forbes is estimating the Lakers and Yankees combined will generate a revenue of $1.12 billion.
Well, the thing with them is they're also paying hundreds of millions of dollars to their players, and then she's literally just like she's the queen of it all, so she just decides what she's paying.
Did you say players?
Oh my gosh!
Because
what are you going with now?
did you know
I probably
that
didn't.
Cristiano Ronaldo, Lionel Messi, LeBron James, and Steph Curry are going to combine to make $485 million this year? Guess how much Taylor's going to make from this Eras Tour alone?
Probably 500 million.
Her pre-tax revenue is $500 million.
That's yeah.
I'm
wait,
shook.
wait. You said pre-tax. Oh, okay, but I guess theirs.
They're
going to
pay tax too.
Yeah, okay, that's a good point. Good
so,
point.
but hers is not solely based like wherever her residency is. For instance, LeBron and Steph and even the guys overseas probably have a higher tax than Taylor's quote-unquote official residence.
Well, I guess also with her, she would be paying state taxes wherever she is. So some states like Missouri should be paying drastically less than when she's in California or New York or whatever else.
Exactly. And Steph and LeBron and Lionel and Cristiano are paying huge amounts of taxes because Steph and LeBron are in California.
Well, and then Ronaldo, he's just getting sponsored by Saudi Arabia, so she's not getting sponsored by them, which is always a good thing.
Not yet. Not yet. But... so that is the research I did. She's going to make $500 million off this Eras Tour. And I'm like, lordy, woman. Like, people don't make that much in a career of sports forever.
Yeah, she's amazing. It's crazy what she's been able to do and how much money she makes and how much just whatever she does is just like the right thing, which is crazy.
Yeah. So... to conclude my point, we talked about how she was not fairly compensated for all of her stuff, all of her music that she made previously before the Taylor's version stuff. I think we can put that to bed.
Well, I mean,
making $500 million.
I don't think it was that the compensated. She just wanted to own it, and then they wouldn't let her buy it. And I think she would have bought it, but they're like, no. So instead, she's like, I'll make more albums and call it Taylor's version,
and slightly change every song to where it's not copyrighted.
Yes, and that I'll get into that shortly. actually, I can just get into it now.
Right.
Well, I mean, I guess, I mean, just with like her newer voice in general, I think that's about all she needs to do when she re-records. But then, so with her lyrics, she usually keeps them the same.
Yeah.
But there was one song which I was looking at yesterday that she did change the lyrics to, and that was Better Than Revenge.
Okay.
As you know, she has a lot of songs about like breakups and whatever else goes on in her life. And I'm trying to find where she changed this. Okay, here we go. I'm pulling it up. Tell me anything why I'm pulling this up, Dane. Just make up something.
Okay. So here I am. I just ran out of my Baja Blast, and I need to get another.
And I found it.
Oh, there it is.
Okay. So she was talking about a breakup and about an individual who she thought stole her, I guess, boyfriend at the time. And originally, the line in this song was, she's better known for the things that she does on the mattress.
I heard about that. That was crazy.
And that was her original line. And people are like, oh my gosh, she's
That's
shaming people. And I'm like, that's the kind of a clutch line. But then she changed it, and now it's just not nearly as catchy. That was a Baja Blast.
I'm sorry.
She Baja blasts these lyrics to trash. So yeah, she went from she's better known for the things that she does on the mattress, and she changed it to, he was a moth to the flame, she was holding the matches.
Ooh.
That doesn't flow as well, I feel like.
No, yeah. But, I mean, in our progressive culture, it probably sells better than her shaming this person's promiscuity.
Well, you say that, but then I was looking in a lot of like the comment sections, like on the Taylor Swift, whatever, and people are like, I don't care. I'm still going to scream the original lyrics. It hits different. Like,
it does hit different because they roll off the tongue better.
Yeah.
And it's like better than revenge. It's literally, you're writing this about the person you hate. So it's
and she also wrote it 13 years ago, and I think
Right.
with her re-recording, the point is you still sing it the same, but it just means something different to you. And I think the only reason she changed the lyrics was because at some point some publishers were probably like, oh, this is bad of her. It's like, it's music. Like, it doesn't really matter too much in this regard. And honestly, she could have said a lot worse stuff, but I don't know.
I wonder what Taylor could do to bring her downfall. Like, she could ride off into the sunset right now and be perfectly happy forever and ever.
I mean, I could think of some things that I don't really want to get into that she could probably do.
Well, more so, I guess the question is, what could she do that's like seen as bad that she would survive because of her popularity? I think she could cheat on somebody and be fine.
it would probably hurt some parts of her fandom, I feel like, if she did that, but for the most part she would probably be okay. But she would get trashed hardcore.
She'd get trashed a little bit, but then she'll just write an album about how she's sorry, and then everybody's gonna forget about it.
Yeah, she could do a lot of stuff at this point, where she would still be okay. She lose
crazy
fans here and
smart
there
too.
Yeah, I mean, she's brilliant. That's how she's able to make like billions of dollars or hundreds of millions of dollars.
Our supreme overlord.
One of these days, we're so close.
We're so close.
Yeah. The fingers crossed. It could be tonight. It could be tonight. Actually, I think it's kind of like the Infinity Stones, with like Thanos. She's getting the Infinity Stones back with her Taylor's versions,
right?
And she already has 3 of them redone, so she only needs 3 more. And if you remember with Infinity Stones, there were 6.
There were 6.
So once she drops the final Taylor's version, she will have all the power. She will snap and to shake it off.
Nope. I wonder if we'll get to the point one day where if you're listening to a non-Taylor's version song, like
you get shot on the spot.
You might, yeah. Well, somebody already made a video about this, and I have it on my phone. And I'll show it to you later. But it's this guy who pretends to be an anti-Swiftie. It's the year 2032, and it's been 4 years since Taylor's overthrown the government, and she forces her armies of Swifties to sing her lyrics nonstop all day long and to round up the resistance. And he's the last of the resistance in his city, and they have his house surrounded now. And it's him saying his farewells. And
it's because he doesn't know all the lyrics like by heart. Is that why he's getting taken over?
No, he's refusing. And here we are.
Is it because he wants to sing the original versions?
I mean,
Taylor's
it
versions?
could be, but I'm saying that's what it's going to happen to anybody who doesn't sing the original versions.
Swifties out there, if there's any truth to this, please let us know in the comments. Please leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. Tell us what you think, or follow us on Threads, which we'll talk about again more later, and tell us what you think of our accurate takes.
I have a question.
Yep.
Have we had any more Apple Podcast reviews?
Well, we have, and we could talk about them now,
or
we could talk about 2 other quick things about Taylor Swift.
Ooh,
up to you.
Bring those up.
Okay.
We need to close that out.
I forgot. I was going to mention this early, and then we kind of got off going on the concerts. With her Speak Now release, which I did listen to all last night, and you did as well. So it's great.
Did.
It's great that we listened to it. I started thinking, I only own 1 CD by Taylor Swift.
I don't know why you own CDs.
The reason I got this, it was 2016. I was in Kansas City in a thrift store, and I was like, oh, there's a Taylor Swift Speak Now Deluxe Edition CD for like $2. I'm going to buy it.
Your grandma's calling you.
I can talk to her later. It's okay. We're on the podcast. I don't think she would be. I don't know if
Grandma, I'm on the pod. I want meatloaf, okay?
Yeah, okay, stop. I told you already. But yeah, I bought the CD back in 2016, and I remember listening to it in the car with my friend Keaton on the way back from Kansas City to Springfield because we rode together. So that is, bless you.
Oh, no.
Yes, bless you. So I thought that was kind of cool because now I listened to that deluxe edition back in the day, the only CD I owned, and then I listened to the new album, which also has 6 new songs,
right?
Which I guess typically she might have wrote back in the day, and then she's dropping them now, which
they're just in the vault, which is crazy.
Yeah, like what vault is she hiding these in?
Yeah.
Is it just like a little safe in her closet or what?
Probably is.
Yeah.
Has to be.
She opens up the safe and this music starts playing like crazy. He's like, oh, got to get that one. Got to get that one.
Well, I watched Shawshank Redemption for the first time last night.
Oh.
It was literally the
That's
first
a twist.
time. It was, but like when he takes the mural off and then he has a safe behind it, it's just like that.
It probably is.
Yeah.
We listened to the new songs probably only like one time each, and I was trying to listen to them again, so I don't have a lot of thoughts. But there were 2 songs that somewhat stood out. One of them was When Emma Falls in Love, and I'm just thinking for this song specifically, all the Emmas are about to go crazy.
Facts.
Yeah, just like, oh, this song's all about me. Kind of like when we turned 22, and we're like, oh, this song's all about me.
I won't lie, I despise that song.
It's a good
22.
song. It's a good song. I can understand why some people don't like it.
Yeah,
because it's played a
everybody
lot.
does that. Yeah.
But with when Emma Falls in Love, all the Emmas are going to be playing this. It's probably going to be a new wedding song for when the person's named Emma. Yep. I don't know what's going to happen with it, but she did play it last night at her Speak Now tour in Kansas City.
Shout out to KC.
Yeah, shout
out.
out.
All of your sports teams are trash, but that's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. But,
really, it's just one.
One other song that she dropped was a music video as well, which she dropped, I guess, yesterday or last night, and it's called I Can See You. Pretty good vibes. It's kind of like seems like almost like a James Bondy type spy heist song, or based on like the music video. But Taylor Lautner was in it.
Well, you know why?
I think I do know why, but explain why.
Okay, so the song Back to December is about Taylor Lautner.
Yeah.
Which I found out from TikTok because I'm on Swifty Talk now.
And that's, our algorithms are Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
All the time.
Phone's listening to us right now.
We're going to have a lot of
Quit
suggestions.
mining my data.
Yeah, and I didn't really realize, so I don't know all of her relationships with like her past boyfriends, whether they're good or bad, but I guess Swifties like Taylor Lautner. I don't know all the reasons why.
Well,
but
because the whole Kanye thing where he gets up and is like, Beyonce deserved this, whatever.
Yeah.
And then apparently that night Taylor Lautner like held her in her arms and they had like brief like fling thing, and then she ended it with him to go after somebody else, and so Taylor Lautner is the only one who's ever like never done anything wrong and treated her right.
I did read briefly, and again, I don't know how accurate this is. I guess when they were dating, he would actually go out of his way and try to see her a lot and like be with her.
Great
but
boyfriend
supposedly, I don't know how accurate this is, she didn't always reciprocate that and didn't always try to find ways to like be with him.
Are you speaking negatively about our overlord?
I'm just saying what I read, but obviously all things are good because he was in the music video, and I guess he was on stage yesterday at the KC concert and said some really nice things about her, and they gave each other a hug. And it's like, oh my gosh, this is so sweet.
Ironically, Taylor Lautner is now married to a different Taylor.
I was going to say, I think that's the reason she broke up with him, because she's like, I don't want to be Taylor. So then Taylor Lautner only goes after Taylors. So then he married a different Taylor so she could be Taylor.
Well, they probably argued about whose name comes first on anything.
It's confusing. It's all the Taylors. And then they also did I guess a picture I saw during the music video where it was Taylor Lautner, his wife Taylor, and Taylor Swift, and they did the Spider-Man meme where they're all pointing at each other.
Dang it!
And it's like, okay, I like this. This is good.
Dang it.
But that's about all my thoughts right now on Speak Now. I'm kind of looking forward to what she drops next. I'm sure it'll be another Taylor's version album.
Something clever.
Yeah, I don't know if it'll be 1989
or... I love 1989.
I think Reputation she has to do.
I remember Reputation sucking.
It has some good songs. But
I forgot how good Speak Now was.
Mm-hmm. It's good. I'm going to listen to it some more. But yeah, 1989, I think Reputation. And then what's interesting is I would not be surprised if she saves her Taylor Swift album for last.
Oh,
her first album.
Yeah.
I would not be surprised if she drops at last overall.
That'd be really cool.
So it'd be like Taylor Swift, Taylor's version.
Huh.
So it could be interesting. I think that will make that album get a lot more love, because a lot of times I feel like Swifties don't love it as much.
Which is stupid.
It has some good songs. It's got some bops.
It's got great songs. Tim McGraw is awesome.
So I'm excited to see if she does drop that last out of her Taylor's versions.
Teardrops on My Guitar, goated.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You just have to wipe them off. Otherwise, it'll kind of sink into the wood.
Well, yeah, you don't want to ruin the instrument.
Yeah.
And real artists smash their instruments at the end of every show.
Oh, okay. I wasn't even thinking about this. So something else kind of cool is back when she did her Speak Now tour 10 years ago, she had this really cool guitar that was blue and it had koi fish on it and stuff. And I guess she donated to the National Music Hall of Fame or Country Music Hall of Fame.
Rock and Roll
and
Hall
then
of Fame.
someone posted a picture 2 days ago and was like, this guitar has been removed temporarily. And everybody's like, oh my gosh.
She's going to use it.
She's going to use it with her Speak Now album. And then what do you know? Last night when she dropped her album, or 2 nights ago when she dropped her album and then did her first concert with it, she had the guitar. And everybody's like, this is so cool. So I thought that was kind of unique how she brought that back.
It seemed kind of obvious, but
yeah.
But I mean, still cool.
Yeah, but it's just a sign. It's she's going to do more Speak Now songs.
Yeah, temporarily removed. Where's it going?
Who stole it? But who's going to give it back?
We're not really investigating it, but...
yeah. It's just temporarily.
We don't know where it is temporarily.
Yep.
That's funny.
So yeah, that's I think most of our Taylor Swift talk. Hope you enjoyed it. We're obviously the biggest Swifties out there, which is why we're not going to the concert, unfortunately.
Once again, if you would like to send us to the concert, that would be way better.
Yeah.
Because we ain't paying for that.
Yeah, of course, it also will be difficult for us to see it in Kansas City tonight because you won't hear this until Monday. But if you want to pay for us to go to a different site
and a flight,
we will go. And we can be the Swifties. We could do a podcast there.
Oh, a live pod?
Yeah, that would be good.
That'd be wild.
That would be so
We're
crazy.
Just recording the whole concert.
Yeah.
What do you think now, Samuel?
Yeah, I think how she really took the chorus on that one was a lot better.
Taylor, say something into the mic.
Yeah.
What?
That'd be good. And then we just sit down, interview her afterwards, and just talk to her about life.
Absolutely no way we can get that to happen.
I'll share my mic with her.
Okay, finally.
Yeah. I'll share this time because I feel like she'll be able to handle her voice.
If you could ask her one question, what would it be?
Why?
I hate that.
I don't even know what I would ask her. I've never thought about that.
I would ask her, do you have any thoughts about making any more country albums?
Mm-hmm.
Or
I mean, she will with her Taylor's versions.
Yeah, but any additional ones
Mm-hmm.
What is still your influence on country music, or how much does country music influence your writings?
Or do you still enjoy listening to country music? And
yeah,
I think there'd be
that's
a lot
basically
of stuff.
My question.
It's
something
weird. I don't know how it would be around a lot of these types of people, because obviously there are some individuals who just completely fangirl over whoever, and I don't think I really do that.
You know who does?
Who?
Lindsay Reed.
Oh, hey.
She. We'll get to her.
Well, we'll talk about her briefly. She has some messages she sent. I think she just likes getting clout at this point.
Yeah.
Fake
fan.
Yeah.
Lindsay Reed hates Taylor Swift, just so you guys know.
But I feel like with some of these people, I think I could have a normal conversation with them and just kind of would want to know just like about their life a little bit.
That's like famous people, like if it's not somebody I'm going to freak out over, aka athletes, I'm going to like sit down and be like, hey, so-and-so, like, what do you think about this?
I feel like, like in a normal world, instead of where it's just like a meet and greet or something like that, where we don't really have time, I think it would be cool just have like a normal conversation. And I feel like I could do that with most people. I don't think there's anybody I'll just like completely freak out over.
Yeah, but you always feel like you're never going to have enough time to like ask them any questions.
Yeah, so then that's where I think it can get a little crazy and hectic. But I don't know. It'll be cool if that ever happens. It's very highly unlikely with her or a lot of other people, but I don't know.
She'd be like, who are you guys?
Yeah, like we made a podcast about the Until Next Week podcast. I left you your first review under a burner account.
That's crazy.
That would be nuts. Like, yeah, I love everything you do. I'm like, why didn't you tell us this all these years ago?
That'd be perfect.
Yeah. Now we can get back to the transition you were trying to do earlier. Do you want to transition?
Hey, you know what's really cool too?
What?
Apple Podcasts.
Oh, yes, Apple Podcast reviews. We received another written review, and I knew this has been coming for a while now because it is from our good friend who you've not met, but I have met, Jack Holmgren.
Would you describe him as a punk hole?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Okay.
Big dude, though. Big dude. Nice guy.
Not bigger than me.
He sent me a picture of himself from a long time ago because you like threatened to wrestle him or fight him. He's like, hey, just show him this. It was like a picture of when he was like very small and skinny, and then he thought you would accept it and be like, yeah, let's do it.
Based off of that photo.
Yeah, that's when he was like in middle school, though.
I would not fight anybody.
That's back when he looked similar to you.
Right. Because I'm 6 foot, 170 pounds. So
I'm going to quickly just show you with this non-video podcast how long this review is.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's a lot of words, so this will take a little bit, but I will try to do my best. And his username, which doesn't really matter, but I thought it was kind of funny, is Lord Ham 55555555555555555. I think it was about that many fives.
That's it.
And then you can look this verse up if you want, but he put Proverbs 17:22 is what the title of the podcast like review is. And then here is what he said. This is going to be a lot. When you've achieved greatness, when you have done the impossible, and when you have risen up to a status of extraordinary that boggles the mind of human potential, you have risen to the highest peaks of mankind. This podcast does just that. And when I'm talking about peaks, you know I'm talking about mountains. And as Dane will tell you, when mountains are mentioned, you can't help but think of the sweet, sweet nectar that flows down from the highest summits to bless us lowly humans.
Oh, mama.
Oh, yeah. I'm talking about that Mountain Dew. Just like that dew, this podcast certainly does do what the dew do. It reigns victorious in its class and paves a way for others to follow in its glorious steps. Forget the fountain of youth. Mountain Dew and the Until Next Week podcast are the only two things, aside from their number one sponsor, that you need in life. But if you're not a mountains person and you prefer the beach, then let me cater to your style. Recently, I visited the establishment of a pristine, respected Taco Bell, and my mind was tempted to try the famed Baja Blast.
It's delicious.
Never before have I ever dared to touch or taste, but only to lay eyes on it. But with the words of Dane Biesmeyer ringing in my subconscious, probably because I listened to 17 of their episodes in 4 days, I indulged in my desires, and dare I say, I was satisfied with my Baja Blast experience. Whether you hail from the highest mountains yodeling the praises of Mountain Dew, or if you are chilling on the beach with no shoes, no shirt, only Baja Blast, then you won't be disappointed in the revival that this podcast will bring to your spirit. I'm like a third of the way through this.
Oh my goodness.
After a lengthy introduction, let me get into my review and comments.
That's the introduction.
Now, yes, although I have never met Dane before, I am adamant to not be biased just because I have an established friendship with Samuelson, surrounded by Jesus, baseball, Christian rap, and the countless memories of singing Love Story by Taylor Swift at so many camp parties with him. Now, as much as I love to compare Dane to Skip Bayless,
That's crazy.
although Dane does make outlandish and controversial comments, not just for the spice and flavor of the show, but truly from within his heart, I do know that he and Sam present a vastly more disorderly, but still more friendly, entertaining show than Shannon and Skip did.
Facts.
And look where that got Skip and Shannon, but not
Divorced.
our boys Dane, but not our boys Dane and Sam, or is it Sam and Dane? But anyways, now to the review. First off, I don't care if this show isn't as orderly as other podcasts, because then it would just feel like I'm in school hearing a boring lecture about how LeBron is supposedly the GOAT, because we all know he isn't. Number 23!
Facts.
Exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. But that's what I love about this wild ride of a podcast, and I'm so glad they compared it to Seinfeld, because it's about nothing. Most excellent. Also, every time I hear a pun, wild comment, or a topic taken way too far on this show, I absolutely love the "dang it" response.
I do say that a lot.
I try to almost anticipate it. Another critique is that I am disappointed that episodes 18, 26, and 27 didn't have any unnecessary censoring and bleepage. I do like it when Sam does that in the editing. All right, rapid fire, extra thoughts. Dane is wrong about Wisconsin being a terrible state.
Terrible state.
Go Badgers and Brewers, but also I do sympathize with Dane. As a Badgers fan where football hasn't made the national championship or the Brewers haven't made it to the World Series, I understand that the pain of the Cowboys not being in the Super Bowl for the last quarter century fuels the hate he has for any other team.
This is true.
I feel you, brother. Also, hot take. My favorite Taylor Swift song is Starlight because it is an amazing running song that got me through my 5 a.m. morning runs as a 7th grader. Also, Sam's take on saying LeBron is better than Jordan because Jordan didn't make the finals 8 times in his career is crazy because LeBron hasn't made it to the finals 10 times in his career. That I think he wrote that sentence wrong, but it's okay. Well, it's okay. The thought is there. Boom, I said it. I formally agreed to a fight with Dane as he has officially challenged me one.
I don't remember doing that.
Challenged me to one on the 23rd episode. Time and place, TBD. Also, Sam's quote is awesome. Dane is indecisive and makes no sense, only dollars.
Facts.
That should be in a rap song, but Sam, although we are close, I do disagree with you on some things. Not just that Jordan is the GOAT. Dipping chips in ketchup is horrible.
It
is
is
probably the only one thing I will ever agree with Dane on. Sam is wrong. Also, Dane is right. Hot dogs are sandwiches and pretzels are chips.
See?
PB pretzels are amazing. Also, chips on sandwiches are awesome too. Well, that concludes my critique of the podcast. Definitely 5 out of 5 stars for sure. Also, in the words of Dane's, I'm the king. I can do whatever I want.
Facts.
Oh, wait. No, Scar said that.
Wait. Shout out to Scar. I forgot about Scar.
That review was so long.
I want a poster of Scar.
So thought out.
Wow. So I bought a Villains shirt for my sister, Lindsay Reed.
And we'll get to again here shortly.
Right. I wanted to give it to her, but then now I'm like, I mean, these guys aren't really villains. They're the heroes.
Yeah.
So we're working on getting that.
Yeah. That was an extremely long review and extremely thought out. And that is probably the best review we will ever receive. And it was amazing. And so many things were great about it, except for his bad takes on my takes that were good, but he said were bad.
Sounds like he thinks I'm amazing and you suck.
Yep. I think you're right. He wants to be friends with you, not with me. One thing about the chips.
Oh, no.
So I did get some comments. Lindsay Reed is another one of them, but I can only expect this because she is your blood. She also was talking about the chips. She only said it briefly. I wasn't going to say this, but she sent me a multitude of messages, which we'll get into here shortly. But one of them was chips with ketchup is disgusting. I don't know if anyone who does that. You are both blood, so I can understand why she would have the same take as you, so that's not very relevant here.
What?
Coming from Jack, it makes sense that there's another outside source, but he is from Florida, so things can be a little weird as well.
You're just discounting Florida people.
Yes, exactly. But one of our other followers and true fans of the pod, Allie Hoopy, did message and say that she does the same thing. So we're basically right now, we both have one backup because I don't count Lindsay here because, again, she's same blood, so it doesn't count.
Seems like it's 3-2.
No, you have Jack with you, and then you and Lindsay are one. And then it's
That's
me,
not true.
and then Allie Hoopy is the other. So we're still pretty even. Let us know if you have a strong opinion one way or the other with the chips and ketchup situation.
We need a decisive.
But I don't typically do just ketchup. I enjoy having some hot sauce with it because it makes me feel a little spicy.
Oh, well, now it's better.
Yeah.
No, it's not
it
better.
Is. It is. But it is a little strange, but I think people do this more than you think. But you growing up the same place as Lindsay is understandable. If one doesn't do it, the other wouldn't do it.
I
So
think 3% of the population does it or less.
I bet you it's at least 25% of the population.
That's ridiculous.
I bet you it's at least that high.
You're telling me that
Yeah.
85 million Americans.
I think everybody in my family does it, and that's 7 people.
Once again, that's your blood. That doesn't count.
Hey, I'm just saying that's that. I mean, that's a good amount.
No.
But that's enough of the we don't need to talk
Rebecca,
about potato
Rachel, your brother,
chips. My other brother,
your other brother.
my parents.
How
There
many
we
of
go.
there are you?
There's
Like
7. I
8?
said, yeah, 7.
Goodness. You guys are all crazy.
It's okay, but it tastes good, so we're good. I don't want to go through all these messages because Lindsay sent so many thoughts. There's a lot of thoughts. I don't know what I want to go into here exactly.
Pick one.
We're gonna say this one. Okay. Dane, this is talking about I think some like getting pulled over at different times.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Dane, however, when he was 16, got pulled over for driving too long in the left lane. And when he pulled off on the highway, he pulled off to the left side. And the officer didn't believe he was actually 16.
Yes, he did. I handed him my license.
Yeah. But I guess he didn't originally, according to Lindsay. She also said, when I got that speeding ticket, I was 19, and I didn't want my parents to know yet. Literally the next morning, whilst eating breakfast as a family, Dane had, unbeknownst to me, posted me getting pulled over on Snapchat. And my parents found out because of that, and I haven't forgotten.
That sounds like something I'd do.
She had a lot of thoughts about the past episodes, mainly just like defending herself, which makes sense because it seems like sometimes you might say stuff about her which isn't
What?
100% true.
Me?
Maybe. I don't know. But the only other thing, which I don't know if we're going to make this a segment where we just go back and forth with what Lindsay sends us and we talk about it. But
Lindsay put a frying pan on her leg. A hot one.
she'll probably send me a message about that. She said, one other thing. Wow, another week of slander. Dane didn't meet me in a race. I asked if he wanted to come with me on a distance run.
Absolutely demolished her
If
in
you
this
don't
race.
know how that goes, is literally just running for distance. Has nothing to do with winning or pace. He decided it was going to be a race, and I chose not to participate, but he likes to act like he's fast. He's slow. I could beat him in a 100-meter dash easy. And that's all I got to say from Lindsay Reed.
Excuse me. Last I checked, we just passed a holiday where we kept score. Dang it. Well, we are now undefeated in wars before 1945.
What? Wait, what are you talking about?
What I'm saying is, in America, we keep score.
Oh, okay.
And we don't
okay.
play for fun.
Okay, I was like, what are you talking about? Doing a war with Lindsay? I was confused.
But also,
there.
yes, there is a war between Lindsay and I.
Okay.
And our youngest brother, Cole.
Okay,
Because Cole also sucks at everything.
Okay, let's see if he sends me a message. I don't know if he listens, but if he does, we'll hear from him.
He knows that I have a podcast, but he also works at a biology lab in Kansas City, and he says that he does experiments on fish all day.
Does he do experiments on koi fish?
Maybe.
Specifically on guitars?
No.
At Speak Now tours in Kansas City?
Koi fish.
Yep.
Is that what's on the guitar?
Yeah, that's on the guitar.
I didn't know that. I haven't seen the guitar.
Yep.
Either way, no.
Okay. Yeah, well,
What's Linktree?
I decided to get a little crazy. So but when I was making, because Twitter, is a thing.
Can't
and
tweet
then
up on my Twitter.
Mark Zuckerberg was like, hey, I'm just going to make Twitter, but call it Threads, which is what he did like a few days ago. I decided to make a Threads account.
But not a Twitter account?
I already have Twitter. But Twitter hasn't been bumping as much, I feel like, with most people. But with this new Threads thing, it immediately just like connects to your Instagram account. So a lot of people who haven't even touched Twitter probably in forever have made Threads accounts. So currently, it is relevant. So I made an account on the first day, which I don't think I've ever done that before.
Yeah.
And it also like shows what number you were. So I think both of my creations of accounts, because I did one for my personal account and one for the Until Next Week podcast account.
Facts.
Both of them were like first like 10 million accounts made, and now there's like over probably like 100 million. So
I do not have
I'm
one.
an early adopter. I'm waiting for you to.
I'm going to start tweeting out some radical thoughts.
You're going to start threading.
Threading out.
You'll be threading the needle with your thoughts.
Okay.
I don't know.
That's not the same.
It doesn't flow as
Yeah.
well. It's kind of awkward. But yeah, I made a new account for myself and the Until Next Week podcast, and you can find us on there. And I'm going to start posting stuff about the podcast and maybe just random thoughts you might find enjoyable, so follow us. And also you can send us a thread, I guess, if you have questions on there, and we can discuss it on the podcast.
That was cool. You can select the ask a question thing, and I liked that.
Yeah, so I guess I didn't really get to that.
Is that different?
That's with Linktree. A lot of times you see people, when you click like a link in their bio, it goes to like several links, and that's like on a Linktree, I guess, like website. And I was able to make one of those for us, which was free to add. But
Can
now
I put it in my Insta bio?
Yeah, you could throw it in yours.
Let's see if I can do that.
So when you click on the link, it will give you sublinks. So one of them is just to go to our Spotify account. One is to go to our Apple account. One is to make it easy. So if you want to like ask us a question or leave us a voicemail, you can click that, and then it'll pop up. So then you can just record your voice for us. I also left a.
Do I just copy the IP address?
Yeah, you can just copy and then throw it in. I think it's a link, and it should work. But then other links I had in there, I think it was for the Instagram account, and then also for the Threads account. So you can get a quick link to any of those if you go to our Instagram bio and click on our Linktree links. So
La links.
It's kind of cool. It's kind of nice. It should make it easier to share information. And then like what Dane said, he's going to put on his Instagram bio. It's already in my Instagram bio. So hopefully
we're almost there.
That will bring more people to the podcast and our social medias and everything else.
I got to remember how to edit my Instagram bio.
Hey, I can show you this afterwards. It's okay.
Oh, no.
It's not happening. It's not too difficult. I want you to do it a couple times. But yeah, that was something else I did. So we're leveling up. We're leveling up the podcast.
We are taking the next steps. Next stop, TikTok.
I have thought about that before, but that's once I figure out how to properly do video for the podcast. And I don't want to like post video podcasts because that would take way too long. But if we could find some good clips and I could edit it together, then that would be good on TikTok or Instagram Reels or something else like that. I think that's honestly what would grow our podcast the easiest and quickest if I did some of that, but I have not put in the time yet. So if you know how to do that, let us know. You can maybe help us out for free.
My first link is internationalmogul.com in my Instagram bio.
Why?
Because I'm an international mogul.
International mogul. I thought it said international mobile, and I'm like, you just like random phone companies? I don't even know.
Yes and no.
Yep. But while you're still doing that, we're going to finish up this podcast with our sponsors of the week. And, our number one sponsor of the week is Jesus.
Jesus.
And Dane, did you ever find that verse reference that Jack sent us?
I did.
Do you want to read it for us?
Yeah, I got it right here.
Okay.
So, Proverbs 17:22 is a joyful heart is good medicine, but a crushed spirit dries up the bones.
That is our podcast.
So yeah, he's going on and he's describing just the joy that comes from like this podcast. Mm-hmm. And like it's like honestly the way I just feel about things is like life is too serious to take it seriously.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like life will make you conform to being serious in like a various amount of ways, like just getting a job or like getting a library card or things like that.
Yeah.
That people don't do anymore. But it's like, you know what? Have fun while you can. Act your age, or
don't act your age.
But yeah, just don't take everything so seriously all the time because it just gets boring and you gotta spice it up. And like, if you want to enjoy your life, have fun, man.
That's a good word. That is a good word. Thank you for the inspiration, Jack Holmgren, for that verse, which gave us the inspiration to tie it back to Jesus. That's good. We are wise men in our podcast. But you know who also is a wise man?
Who?
Jake Tressenart.
Oh, wow.
And that's just because he draws and paints wise figures like Jesus and other figures that I don't know who they are, but they're on paintings all around us. And that's why Jake Tressenart is still our number 2 sponsor of the pod.
Fun fact. This is going to be the last podcast that you ever hear from us while he's a single man.
Oh my, he's finally dating somebody?
And getting married.
What?
Not this Sunday, but next Sunday.
That is crazy.
What a guy.
Good guy, man. That is awesome.
I know. Getting married, I hear, is a good thing.
I mean, it depends who you are, I guess.
That's a good point.
Yeah, but yeah, he is our number 2 sponsor of the week. And our number 3 sponsor of the week is someone that Dane likes to call our overlord.
Tay Tay.
Hey.
She is.
Wait.
Yeah. What?
Huh?
What?
I was,
what am I waiting
I was
for?
like, Tay. Could that be Taylor? So Taylor Lautner's wife?
It could be Tay Tay.
Wait, that's
Taylor.
not right.
Yeah, it's not gonna be Taylor Lochner Taylor.
Wait, I messed that up.
Taylor.
Is that what I said earlier?
I don't know.
I might have messed that up. I think I did say Taylor. I am so stupid. I just realized that because if the other Taylor married Taylor Lautner,
Right.
her last name wouldn't be Taylor.
Yeah.
It just her first name would be Taylor. They'd both be Taylor Lautner.
That's kind of
Wow, I sounded really stupid earlier.
How would you know who's males for you? Who's this male to?
I don't know about that. Why? Wow. How did you not catch that?
Well, I just thought you were talking about both of them. Like, oh, it's Taylor and Taylor.
No, I was saying like her first and last name would be Taylor, which is not right. And you probably stopped listening at that point, so you didn't hear this thought process I just had. Okay, but going back to our overlord Tay-Tay.
If this Taylor married...
Or which Taylor are we talking about now?
Tim the Toolman Taylor from Home Improvement, she would be Taylor.
Yeah, I messed it up because I know of at least one person who has the same first name and last name, who I'm not going to say on the pod because I don't really know her that well. But yeah, our overlord, Taylor Swift.
Our overlord, she influences our thoughts, feelings, and actions. Except for she doesn't, because number 1 sponsor of the week is Jesus. So Taylor, bend the knee to the real overlord, that is Jesus Christ. Some people call that a hot take.
Whoa.
I call it reps for Jesus.
Wow. Hey, we're still Taylor Swift fans. Please still take us and come on our podcast. So if you don't have any other thoughts, let's just not speak now and let's just hold our peace.
Let's not speak now and let's fast forward to 1989.
This has been the Until Next Week podcast.